This is Lani Ami Cavaraka, or also known as Lance, from Filipino Creatives Bahrain. And today I'm going to show you a step-by-step process on how to do an acrylic pour painting. Acrylic pour painting is a fun, exciting, and relaxing way to create art. I'm going to give you simple step-by-step process, and the materials that I'm going to use are not archival. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start with the materials. First, you need to have a plastic cover to cover your work area. You need to cover as much space that you think you might need it. This is to protect your table or your working area from paints later on. Next would be the paints. So I'm not promoting any brand of these paints, but I just want to show you that you may have a lot of or variety of paints for you to use later on. So it depends on what colors you would like to have on your acrylic pour painting. Plastic cups. So these are actually free because I bought this from a food chain and I just clean it up. So you don't have to throw all your plastic cups or containers. You can reuse them because you know they are easy to clean, especially they are so handy and just easy to use. Now for our pouring medium, I have here a glue which is 200 grams. So we will mix that later on with water, and for me my pouring medium would be, the combination will be 50-50. So if we have 200 grams of glue, we would mix also 200 grams of water. So we have to mix them well later on before we pour them or combine them with our paints. Another one we need are the craft sticks. So we need this as our stirrer later on. So we will be using each one of this to stir our paints or our pouring medium. And these sticks are reusable. So even if they have paints, as long as they are dry, then you can just wash them and set them aside for the next use. So we have craft sticks. You will also need a pair of gloves. You can just have any brand, and as you can see, mine is already used. I just recycle them or reuse them. So as long as the paints can be washed off from it, you are free to use them again. This is to protect your hands from messy paints later on. Our next material, and the most important, is our canvas. We need our canvas to pour in our paints later on. So for this time, I'm using a 30 by 40 centimeters canvas. I painted it black, so that will be my background later on. Now let's get started. So we have our pouring medium, which is the combination of our glue and water. Keep on stirring using our craft stick. Now that our pouring medium is ready, so let's get started with our paints. So we will be mixing this with our paints. So I've just chosen these colors for our acrylic pour, and I'm going to use our plastic cups. As what I've told you earlier, that these are only free from the fast food chain that I bought this from, and I'm just reusing them. All right, so I'm going to use 1 cup for each color. And I'm going to use the popsicle stick or the craft stick for our stirrer. So make sure that when you stir later on, you have to touch the edges of this cup so that no paints would be left unmixed there. So I just add about a spoon of each paint because I'm just using a small canvas, which is 30 by 40 centimeters. So I'm going to use only a small amount of paint. Now that our paints are ready, we are going to mix our pouring medium. So for every color, you can just add almost the same amount of the pouring medium. So sometimes the amount of the pouring medium varies depending on the kind of paint or the color that you want. You just have to stir them, mix them well, and make sure that all the paints are mixed in with the pouring medium. Our first mix is done. It's orange, so you just have to mix it well, and the consistency that I'm looking for is like a warm honey or a buttermilk. We are going to repeat the process for all these paints. Paint that fell down. Okay, so I'm going to have a separate cup, and I put the black one first because usually the black one would sink at the bottom. Okay, then I'm going to go with the white. It depends on you on which color would you want to go first. Then I will have the blue. Now get ready with your canvas. This canvas is 30 by 40 centimeters, 30 centimeters width and 40 centimeters length. And at the back, I attach a screw on the 4 sides to serve as its pillars, so as not to stick on the plastic cover on the table that you are using. In that way, it's easy to hold them up or remove the extra paints on the sides. So let's start. Now I'm gonna flip. This is a flip technique where you are going to put the canvas on top of your mixture and have a good grip on it, and then you have to flip it and lift the cup slowly, going to one side. Wow, look at those cells. They are already forming. Now you just have to pour in all those extra paints that you have. So we're going to tilt it first on this side. I hope that we keep those cells because they really look lovely. Oops. Now this is where it becomes messy. Okay, just make sure you don't allow many of your paints to drip off while you are still not done reaching all the edges. Look at those cells and the colors mixing. I like the way how the yellow separated from the rest of the colors. So that's all for our acrylic pour art today. And for our final product, this is it. Once again, this is Lance saying thank you, and I hope you enjoy. Have a great day.